talking to you, are you?
Me. Raheem for Be Real Boxing. I'm here with Jamie Moore. How you doing, Jamie?
Hi, mate. Okay.
Alright, first of all, I just want to talk about Matthew Macklin, his performance on Saturday. Just talk to us a bit about the fight and what can we expect next from him?
Yeah, he did what he had to do. It was a good performance, solid performance. I think if it was anything other than the way he performed the other night, people would criticise him. So he did what he had to do. He's not stopped anyone with a body shot for a while, so that was good to see. And yeah, it was just a case of getting in there, getting rid of the rust what he got together over the last 5 or 6 months, and making sure he felt right in the gym, which he did, and hopefully we can move on to a bigger fight now.
Alright, let's just talk about July the 18th card. We've got Anthony Crolla coming back, who's fighting Perez, a tough guy. He's got 32 fights, 20 knockouts and 1 loss. What do you expect we can see in that fight from Anthony Crolla, especially coming back from a serious injury?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, taking the injury to one side, taking Anthony Crolla at his best, I quite fancy him against Perez. I've seen a little bit of Perez, not seen loads of him, but the fight had been muted the last few days. I've been having a look at him, and it's a winnable fight. Although he is a little bit of a puncher. He's not a massive puncher, but he's a puncher. Seems like he can box in every style a little bit, so he's not great at everything, but he's solid at everything. Similar to Anthony Crolla. Anthony just seems to have a little bit more work rate to him, and he's got a solid, more consistent jab. So I think it will be a close fight, but yeah, I've got a feeling Anthony's going to win that point.
Alright, we've seen he's got a great sport in Manchester against his fight against John Murray as well. Do you think there'll be a lot more fans than that due to what happened to him previously?
I'd like to think so. Obviously this is a world title shot and it's one of their own going into a big fight. They mentioned Ricky v Costa Zoo. I can't see it being, on that level because of the culmination of fights that Ricky had there, and the lead up and the build up to it. But you never know. Matchroom are great promoters, and they can build the fight well, and hopefully they can sell it. Because I'd love nothing more for Anthony Crolla than a full MEN arena, screaming and cheering him on to win a world title. But listen, even if it's half full, then that's going to be some unbelievable atmosphere, and it will definitely be enough to get behind Anthony and push him through.
It's a brilliant card. We've got Scott Quigg fighting Martinez. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, that's a great fight. I think style-wise, it's going to make for a terrific fight. Scott Quigg is a come-forward pressure fighter, body puncher, and going in against someone like Martinez with that style is it's a dangerous task. So I think he has to adopt a slightly different style, because he's got a good boxing brain, Scott Quigg. Any good pressure fighter, he's not just a blatant come forward fighter. They have a good boxing brain. So he has to put into place a game plan where he breaks Martinez down. Doesn't really get involved that much, because if he does stand and trade with him, he could end up in trouble.
Alright, Martinez fought Carl Frampton twice. Carl Frampton, who Eddie Hearn offered 1.5 million for the fight, never took it. A lot of fans are saying that why fight Martinez when Carl Frampton has fought him twice. What is your response to that?
Listen, both guys are promoted by different guys, both from different TV stations, so each can argue their own cases, which are valid cases, but at the end of the day, unless they come to a compromise and some sort of solution, then both guys are tied to contracts. So, both guys want the fight. I know they do. Fighters don't back down. If the promoters can come to some sort of agreement, then the fight will happen, definitely.
Alright, and do you think we could see them Rigondeaux and Santa Cruz fights when the time's right? Do you think the time is right now? After the Martinez? Yes, Scott Quigg fight.
I think if it comes through Martinez, then I think he's got to go for them. Carl Frampton, all the likes of the guys you just mentioned are the guys what he's got to aim for, because he's made a few title defences now. He's got to the stage where there's an established name. He now needs to step up and improve his class, and Martinez is a good step forward.
Another fight we've got on the card is Sam Eggington versus Glenfoot. What do you think of that fight for the British title?
I think he's a cracking fighter. I love Sam Eggington. I think he's one of my favourite fighters at the moment.
Does he remind you a bit of Carl Froch when he gets into a war?
A little bit. I like the way he stands and trades. He puts his punches in bunches. Combinations are great. For a big, tall, upright boxer, he's real good to watch. He's an exciting fighter. He's sort of got that youth about him where he's carefree. He doesn't really take responsibility for the stuff he does. He just goes in there and enjoys himself. He's great to watch. So yeah, I think he's young. As he gains experience, he'll come through and he'll become a much better fighter. But I'm just enjoying him for what he is at the minute, which is a real good, exciting up-and-coming prospect.
And finally, just talk to us a bit about Amir Khan versus Chris Algeri. Do you think he is a good fight?
I think because Algeri went the distance with Manny Pacquiao, then it's got to be a good match for an American, because style-wise I think it's a great matchup for him. I think he does a good demolition job of it. I think American takes him out within 3 or 4 rounds and looks great doing it. So, you know, comparing that to a Manny Pacquiao performance, that can only, you know, push his case forward to a fight with Floyd Mayweather.
But people say Chris Algeri has been knocked out, so why fight the leftovers of Manny Pacquiao? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, listen, if you can do a better job than Manny Pacquiao, that's the main reason for taking a fight like this is for American to prove that he can do a better job than somebody than Manny Pacquiao did. So, you know, if that's a legitimate reason, then of course go ahead and do it, because if it gets him the Floyd Mayweather fight, then of course he's going to do that.
Alright, thank you for giving me the time to be Real Boxing.